So we continue to see benefits from running up to around 300 minutes per week. But the great news is that if you don't run, then just getting started, you see the best benefits for your mental health. And our research has shown that just 15 minutes and 9 seconds to start with can have a meaningful uplift in your mental health and well-being. So if you enjoy running far, fantastic. But the good news is you don't need to do a lot to feel the mental health benefits from running. So this is very much an individual thing rather than saying this is good or bad for all people. But before I consider individual events, as we continue to see mental health benefits from running up to about 300 minutes per week, we see an incremental rise, and then we tend to see a bit of a plateau and it goes down after a time. So that's what we tend to see. But then when we look at individual events such as running for an ultra marathon, people tend to experience mental health benefits up to the event, but then afterwards there can be a bit of a dip. But this is very much individual, and it's important to ask yourself, why am I doing this ultra marathon? Generally what we see is that any type of running is good for your mental health, but we tend to differentiate the difference between how much your heart and lungs are working. And generally when it's more moderate or vigorous, we tend to see greater mental health benefits for outcomes. So that would be faster running, but we also see good benefits from lower intensity, lighter runs for people too. The key thing is just to be consistent, because the more we are consistent, we keep doing this and running, then the more likely we are to have long-term benefits for our mental health and our brains. Lots happens in the brain when we run. So when we immediately start running, is we see a rapid increase in circulation being delivered to the brain, and we see a lighting up electrical activity within key emotional processing areas within the brain. So an area of the brain responsible for emotional processing and memory is lit up, called the hippocampus. And then we see front parts of our brain called the anterior cingulate cortex, which also start to become lit up. So in the short term, we get lots of electrical activity saying the brain is working, but then as we run over time, we've shown that you can get brain changes in sizes of the brain too. And another important thing happens when we start to run is we get the release of a brain fertilizer, which helps form new cells and connections called BDNF. So our State of Mind Index studies showed that there is a critical window between the ages of 15 to 17 where if we keep young people engaged in exercise, they have much better state of mind and well-being in later life. For every year people engage in exercise, there was an added bonus for people's well-being in later life. But if people dropped off, then they didn't experience those same benefits. So the key thing is to keep people engaged and having fun when they are young, so they can have a lifelong habit to enjoy running and experience those mental health benefits I've spoken about.